So, welcome back to another watercolor demonstration video. Today we're going to be looking at this sketch that I did in 2018, back in July, of Clay Next to Sea, or Clay Next to Sea as the locals like to call it, in Norfolk. And we have some old buildings here, some railings, trees in the background, suggestions of a few boats, a little meandering creek there. We've got some corn, and we've got three boats with masts there. So let's just get into it. So here's the completed sketch, and we're just going to get straight into the painting. Today we're going to be using this number 8 mop brush because we've got a very complicated scene here. I'm going to keep the sky very simple. These mop brushes point really nicely. You can see the point on there. We'll come down over horizon, and we'll just pop in some of this cerulean blue and just let it bleed down. All the way down to where the horizon is, behind the back of the trees, along there basically. So that's that first little piece done. And then we'll just put an underpainting of raw sienna. There's quite a lot of corn in here, so we can suggest that where this meanders. And we'll pop in the same colour on the underpaintings here. We'll leave the roofs. These are pentile roofs and old sort of flint cottages there. There's a bit of a pathway going along there, so we'll have a look at that in a second. And then obviously the river and the sort of mud just here. So that's that part. We'll put in the cerulean to reflect the sky, although it's normally quite muddy here, but we'll just pop that in there, and then we'll put in some of this burnt sienna in here, and just around the edge. Just there. Now there was a lot of grey on the pathway here, so we'll just lightly pop in some of that and leave that. We said we've got pentile roofs, so we could have a go at those just on the first wash. Just a little bit darker. Pretty dry mixture. Pop it in there. Won't mess around too much here. Just on the tip look of the brush, holding it up quite high on the handle. Keep it nice and loose, and that will do for the moment. We're just going to leave that. We're going to let this dry off, and then we'll come back to it for step 2. So welcome back to the next part. We're going to get straight in to some distant trees, slightly darker tones in the sky obviously. Put in some blues and some greys in here. Just let that work its way down, and we'll run off some of that as well. running off, I mean we'll just use some clear water on the brush, just to bleed in there, as we do, and then that just doesn't create an edge. Now we're going to go in for some ultramarine and some of this cadmium yellow. And we're here with the number 2 brush. And we won't mess around with this too much, we'll just get this in and let that bleed away into the mixture that's also there. These kind of pine trees in the distance. Let that bleed in here, that's nice. We'll pop some more of this colour in here as well, just to create a bit of variety. I just want to go a little bit darker. Gonna add a touch of Payne's Grey, just like that. Sort itself out really. There we go. When I say sort itself out, I mean just going to bleed in there. That's good. So we've got those 3 trees. They are looking a little bit too similar and a bit straight. I think we're okay. That's bleeding in nicely. So that's got the distance sorted out. And we're now going to go in. Let's just test everything's dry in here. Just want to strengthen up this bank with some burnt sienna and umber as well, burnt umber. Just in here. And along there. Just in and around where this boat is as well. That's better. That puts everything else back a bit. Back in its place. Probably come a little bit stronger on there actually. So I've got these buildings here. I do want to strengthen these up a little bit tonally and just suggest some of the windows in there before we start to work on some of the detail. The thing is to work quickly, not to be too precise, not to worry too much. About any sort of detail. There we go. Got some chinks of the other colour that's coming through, and that's what you want, some of that. Just want to make these chimneys a bit darker there. And this roof. Take some of the other mixture there. We're going to go darker in this roof as well. Edge here. Just pick out some of these details of these edges. Pop in a window. That's going to bleed in a little bit there because we've still got liquid, but that's quite nice. As long as we're careful. I don't want to go around every single line, that's pointless. And while we're at it with this, we'll pop in the fence dry brush, same as here. I know I've got some wet, but we'll also get dry. Just going to define the edge there. And then while we're at this, we'll put in the masts. Not there because that's wet, but here. Just stroke in where the top's going to be. And it's a practice before we actually get in with one stroke. Look, so we're practicing going down. And that'll do. Best not to go back into it too much. I'm going to go up a little bit higher on here. Yeah, that's all kind of bleeding. I quite like the way that's bleeding around there. And we'll pop in with some dry brush just to define these boats a little bit. They're just suggestions. Don't want to be going too detailed. We should be popping some shadows in there as well in a second. Put in some blue here on this boat. And some cadmium red here on the ends of this one. And we'll go for blue again on this one. We'll just let those bleed around there. Pop in a bit more red in here. And the blue here. That'll do for the moment. So it's really just letting things dry off. So shadows, the light was coming in from this direction, so the shadow's going to be this side. So we could suggest slighter shadows there. And then just test on that to see if it's still dry. We'll pop in some grasses. While we're still on this is cadmium yellow. Popped into that mixture that was there. Pop in some blue as well, just to bleed it in. It's just ultramarine. Just to create a little bit of movement. And we've got a few grasses down here. Same mixture, getting the light bleed in a little bit. So we've got to let this dry off now before we move into the next phase, shadows. So we're coming nearer to the ending of this painting, and we're just going to pop in a few details along the bank there, at the back, this bank of trees here. I just want to bring in some darker notes just to push other bits behind it back. It's that same green mixture that we had there, just adding a touch of blue in. Still want to make sure we've got slight holes, but we'll join all this up and then I'll run off there in a minute because I don't want that to be looking too much of an edge. That will do. Just take some clear water and just run off here that'll just run off. Okay. Now, we've got a few crows in here as well. We can pop those in at the end. You can see that for a bit of life. This is nice and dry down here now as well. I just need to be thinking about shadow colours, so let's just quickly clear this up. And pop in some stock shadow, which is ultramarine blue and this crimson. Let's add a bit more water in there, a little bit of liquid. Have some warmer there, slightly cooler there. Again, we're talking about the shadows. I need to look at my sketch, and a lot of this was in shadow, so I'll just pop all of that all in shadow. Just checking again. That's there, that's in shadow. Got some more shadows coming in down here. And we'll pop in some of these boat shadows as well. On the edge of the chimneys. Pop those in. Just around the edges of the eaves there. Just going to pop that down there, that looks a bit odd. That also is in shadow. I think that's kind of it really in terms of those shadows. There would be kind of suggestions of shadows off these masts coming in as well. And that's just about it on that one. We've got a bit of a run in there. We'll just try and encourage that down, and then I just need to put the mast in from this boat as well, which I haven't done, but I'll do that when this is nicely dry. So there we go, shadows. So right near the end of the painting now, we're going to pop in this mast down here. So have a little practice first. Make sure that's the right kind of liquid we got on. Straight the way down, there we go. We'll pop in a couple of these little cross members as well. And almost done. Just pop in a few more details in here just to sharpen a couple of things up. I'm not going to go too mad with this. Some in here. Just put some bits and bobs in there. And a couple more in here just to sharpen this off. We're just about there. We're thinking about the eye coming in here, so this is the kind of lightest light, darkest dark, and I think we've kind of got that. We could just make some of these masks a little bit darker down here. Pop in some bits, but I mean this is all very loose, just in the style of Impressionism indeed. But I think we're kind of just about there. We always say that when I do, and then just fiddle around with things. But the eye is definitely coming down around this area. And that's what we want. The only thing that's been bugging me a little bit, so we will correct it, is I just want to get in some darker green tones in here. Not everywhere, but just that's better. And just a few more kind of wayward. It's just the shape of that wasn't really working for my mind. I'm just going to soften that off a little bit there as well. There we go. Okay, that's done. Job done. So for our little, we're going to go in kind of pencil fine. This is Payne's Grey, just for these crows popping in here. I think that'll do. Just a few suggestions of these crows coming up as they do. That's it. I hope you enjoyed that one. We'll just take the tape off. Painting. Thanks very much. Remember, take care now. Happy painting. Subscribe, like, ring that notification bell, and I'll see you next time.